the triangles again. So she crumpled up the paper and pulled a dry sheet from her backpack. The crease in her brows matched the neat creases she made in the paper as she pinched it together between her fingers. Harder, perhaps, than was necessary. But perhaps some things needed a hard touch, because soon the paper began to resemble the picture of the boat in the book. She felt a tiny lurch of triumph as she held the thing up and inspected it. It looked entirely seaworthy. Georgia leaned over the puddle and caught sight of her rippled reflection. Brown hair untidy over a narrow face, green-gray eyes wide and flighty. She ran her finger through the water, down the long line of her nose, splitting her reflection in two. Gingerly, she set the paper boat down in the puddle. Probably she should call it a very tiny lake, because what respectable boat wanted to sail in a puddle? For a few moments, she watched as it bobbed in small, satisfying circles, imagining it might be a pirate ship loaded with cursed treasure, or an explorer's vessel heading for icy, uncharted lands. For a few moments, she left the tree and the house and the shouting behind.
Having fun?
George's head whipped around. She hadn't heard her father approach. She looked up at him for a moment, taking in his black, slicked-back hair and his smile. Her father had a nice smile. People said so all the time. He was tall and long-limbed, like Georgia. Her heart filled with the sight of him, like a ship taking on water. "Hi, Daddy," she said. "I made a boat."
I see that,
he replied with a wink.
Well done, Captain. You better get inside, though. It's almost supper time. If you're lucky, you can sneak past your mother and change before she sees you're sopping.
The smile flickered. "You aren't staying?" Georgia asked, though she already knew he wasn't. He carried his car keys in one hand and had one of his nice suits on.
Can't, sweetheart,
he said.
I've got to sit.
His fingers flexed and curled, as though already feeling for the piano keys.
But I'll see you tomorrow. So no long faces, all right?
He didn't wait for her answer. He was already halfway in his car. Georgia thought of the countless afternoons she'd sat right here on the sidewalk, or perched up in the crepe myrtle, waiting for him to come home. It was always the best part of the day, when he emerged from his car and stooped down as she ran to him, lifting her in his arms. Wondering if he might suggest making pancakes for dinner so Mama could have a break from cooking, or going to the char grill for milkshakes, just the two of them. If he might pull a new book from his briefcase and hand it over, telling her he'd seen it and thought of her. Watching his car drive off through the rain, she wondered if he was thinking of her now, or if she had faded from his mind as soon as she'd disappeared from his rearview mirror. She could almost feel her heart break a little bit more. Chapter 2. Georgia's mother was sitting at the kitchen table, poring over one of her textbooks, when Georgia clattered through the door, cradling her boat in one hand. It would dry overnight, and then she would put it on her bookshelf, where it would live between Stuart Little and Peter Pan, books she and Daddy had read together, until the next storm. Her mother looked up, then did a double take. "You're soaked," she said, sighing. Under her reading glasses, her eyes were red-rimmed. "I was playing outside. I didn't realize it was raining so hard," Georgia lied.
I didn't either.
Hang your things to dry off a little and then put them in the hamper. What do you want for supper? Turkey, chicken, beef? Before Georgia's mother had gone back to school, she used to make all their suppers herself. Now, most nights, they ate frozen dinners. Georgia didn't mind. They weren't bad, especially the turkey.